everybody, welcome back to Trinity Dairy. Don't forget to like and share the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Today is June 7th, 2025. We got something a little bit cool to show you here, a new piece of equipment, or new to us anyway, that we picked up today. We got a different grinder mixer, so we'll flip you around and show you what we got. Alright, here it is. It's a Gehl Model 100 mix-all. It's got a scale on there, pretty new scale actually. Thing looks like it's in pretty nice shape. It's been shedded as far as I can tell. I think its whole life, pretty much. It's got the extension on the auger. The hammers, I'll go around the other side. I got a screen in there. Hammers all looked really good. You can see in there. I can't see real well. Once we get done grinding feed and we get try it out here, I haven't really ran it yet. We ran it just a little bit, and I ran a little bit of oats in it to kind of clean it out because they had some corn and a pellet in there. But yeah, it runs nice and smooth. All the augers work. They're hydraulic. I'm not really familiar with the Gehl mixers because we've always had the Artsway style mixer, and so I don't know too much about these, but we'll fire it up here and see what kind of job it does. We got to put, that's just some concentrate in that bin now, so that's not getting ground, and then we'll run some shell corn in and see how it grinds that up. Got enough in there to start stirring. Sure is nice and quiet. Well, we'll get the rest of this in and then we'll get grinding some corn. We got a batch mixed up. That went really well. The thing worked awesome. Now we'll see if it unloads. That was another main reason I wanted to get another mixer, was for the unload auger to be able to reach the feed tank so we don't have to use the elevator. So we'll let it mix a little bit and we'll see if it'll unload it. That sure makes it a lot nicer. Alright, well, we're going to try to finish up the corn planting today. It's starting to get late. I just got that little patch to do. I was hoping to disc it one more time because there is some pretty good sod clumps out there yet, but we can't seem to go. It's not getting dry enough to shake out the sod clumps, so I'm just going to plant it and see what happens. The only issue I really have is sometimes they'll snag on the fertilizer discs, but otherwise I think it'll be fine. It's only about 5 acres, I think, so I only filled the fertilizer boxes about halfway because this is the last field. Also, I got this fertilizer wagon. I haven't shown it this year, but I bought it from a neighbor who wasn't using it anymore, and it works pretty good. It had a hose on it that hung down, but the spout there is getting pretty rusty, and it wouldn't hold the spout anymore, or the rubber hose anymore. So we just took it off of there. And it's got some rust holes in it. We broke out the old can of spray foam and filled in some of the little holes. But it works pretty good. It was definitely a lifesaver. It's got a nice roll tarp on it, which is nice. Able to keep it covered, and I got it open right now just so I could see how much was left in there. But it works pretty good. So yeah, that's definitely been a lifesaver to have that. Otherwise, we always use those totes or 50-pound bags, and that was always kind of a pain. I do need to get longer hoses for it though, because I have to unhook the tractor to hook the hoses up. I think he must have had some kind of a hookup on the back of his planter or something to hook it to, but that's not a big deal. Also, you see the 830 is still around. I think I've decided to maybe hang on to that tractor. It seems like the tractor market has kind of softened up a little bit. So I don't want to take it down to the sale again and just not have it bring much. So I did find a set of decent tires for it. We got them put on there. So yeah, I think it's going to stay around. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the loader on it or not. I got the 806, the loader. We still got the 530. We got the skid steer. I had actually thought about putting an arrow front on it and using it on the corn planter, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. But it's going to stay around here at least for a while yet, I think. So all the Case fans, it's still going to be hanging around here. One of the comments that I had on our last video where we were corn planting was why I was using the 1256 on such a small planter. You know, it's a big tractor. And why I wasn't using the Oliver on it, because the Oliver's plenty big to pull it. And that's a good question, and I actually had intended to try running the Oliver on it to start with, but we were getting behind, and I didn't have it, you know, nothing set up with it. So, and I already had everything figured out. The 12, I've used that before. One of the main reasons that I didn't use this on, a lot of the fields I was doing, there's places in them, there's hills that are like really, really sandy, almost like desert sand kind of stuff. And I don't think I would have the traction to pull some of those with such a narrow tire on here. If I had a wider tire or maybe a duals on it would be different. Another thing is I don't know how the hydraulics are on these. I don't know. This is the first I've really used it. I know it'll lift the planter empty, but when you get those full of fertilizer, that's an extra 1,000 pounds on there, and that can add a lot of weight. So I didn't want to start out the year trying to mess around getting that to lift. Maybe it'll lift it just fine, I don't know. Another issue with the hydraulics that I do know is when you go to set it down, it's hard to set the planter down slowly. Just with the old style valves and stuff, it wants to drop pretty quick even with an empty planter. So we'll see how that goes. I don't want to be dropping it too hard and slamming it into the ground all the time. But those are just a few reasons. Not that it won't pull it power wise, but I just had a few different things, and I knew the 12 would work on it, so that's what we used. But I thought this little field would be a good piece to try it on, give it a test run and see what it does. Like I said, I only got about half a load of fertilizer in there. So we'll give that a whirl and see what happens, and give the old Oliver a little workout. So yeah, I got to throw a couple bags of seed in, and we'll head out and see what happens. All right, well, I'll give you a little update on how it's working. I've made two outside rounds, headland rounds. I really like it. It's really nice for turning on the ends with the narrow front. That all works good. It's pulling it well. I'm running in third gear. I could probably go in fourth, but this field, because it should have gotten worked one more time. I got a lot of sod clumps out here. I wanted to let this dry out some and then go over it again so they would shake out a little bit better. So it is kind of rough. A lot of stuff like this, that these big sod clumps, but we've been getting so many of these spotty rains, it hasn't dried out enough, and I got to get this seed in the ground, so we're just going to plant it. So I've just been running in third, so it's not beating everything up. The only issue that I'm having, which I was kind of worried about, is lifting it. I have to have it pretty much full throttle to get it to lift, and it struggles at that. Maybe the pump on this is a little bit weak. That's very possible. It's definitely an old tractor, but if that was full of fertilizer, I don't think I'd be able to lift it. So as far as planting bigger acreage with this in the future, I don't know that I'm going to use this. I would either have to put a bigger cylinder on the planter, or, you know, just put a small amount of fertilizer in, or broadcast the fertilizer and not even use fertilizer in the planter. But I am kind of leaning more towards maybe putting a narrow front on the 830 and using that more for my planting tractor, because, you know, it's about half the size of the 1256. It's about twice the size of this, so it fit right in the middle. It would lift this planter no problem. If I went to a 6-row planter, it would handle that no problem. So I think that might be the way to go. And I know you don't need a narrow front for planting, but it is really nice for turning around on your ends to have the narrow front, especially with the 4-row planter, because you can whip right around. But for this little patch, we're going to keep going with the Oliver. I mean, it is working pretty good. It's just that I have to have it throttled way up on the ends to get it to lift. And as I plant, it should get better, because it'll be losing weight on the fertilizer. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you a little update. We're going to keep plugging away. Well, there we go. Got the last of that planted. The old Oliver did a pretty good job. I don't think it's going to be my main corn planting tractor just because of the hydraulics just quite aren't enough, but definitely know that if we're in a pinch, it will work. So I think we're going to probably wrap this video up. I was going to show you before we end. We ground that feed with the new mixer, and I never did show the feed. So I got some here in the scoop. We'll show you that turned out. It turned out really nice. I don't see any whole kernels at all. They're all ground up real nice. It seems to be mixed very well. So I think that new mixer was definitely a good purchase. So I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.
We are looking for Jessica with a Guernsey Fall yearling.
She's number 6. Okay. So as soon as she gets out, then you gotta run and grab it.
Yep. Okay.
April cap. Just got a little more stretching scale, just 2 weeks apart, but we see we got much more growth in that heifer. Both nice cats. The girls are having fun, and we appreciate that. They're kind of well trained. Both locked them at home. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Results of the red and white March Cat class. First place to Bree Oysters, second place to Tina Zimmerman. Now coming into the ring in our red and white class, we have all right, here in the Guernsey ring, a different judge on a different day might mix these heifers up a little bit differently, but for me today, we have 2 October heifers and then a full age September in this class, and this is a young gentleman with the red calf to lead out. She's going to be my class winner today. This calf is so balanced from end to end, and she has the advantage in overall dairiness that takes her over our second place heifer. She's just longer through that neck, sharper in that shoulder, more defined throughout that top line into that hook, spins, and throws. I do like the balance on the second place heifer as well. And she gets the nod over our third place heifer for me today. It just comes down to how she's handling her rear feet and legs. She has less touch of what that hawk would view from the side. She tracks straight around the rear legs when viewed from behind. In addition to having a tail head that fits more neatly between those hip bones.